What's up, humans, and welcome to another Psicoactivo from the holidays. This is number 4. I just wanted to give you guys a little update on what's going on with the whole Michael Herrera story and something that he recently stated on his Twitter account. I know that there's a lot of division about this case. I know that there's a lot of people that have seen that interview with someone from his team, and he has a lot of claims against Michael Herrera. Everybody's following the story. Honestly, I don't know what to believe. I've spoken to people within the military and intelligence community that know Herrera, that are not connected to this whole story, but are following it. And all of them tell me that he is believable. But honestly, it's to me the first impulse that I had when I heard his story was to flat out reject it. But since then, I've spoken to Joey's Not My Name, who also, it's really funny because he wants to get to the truth, like everybody. And even he is skeptical about many things that still are like questionable from the whole case. But in a recent exchange of tweets, there are some things that Herrera revealed that I want to share with you guys so you guys can check them out. I'm going to be reading just briefly and then we'll talk about it afterwards. So here is Joey's Not My Name responding to someone who is criticizing Herrera. And Joey says, I especially like the part where of Herrera's story where he said a black project insider took him to a base and everyone thought it was BS, but it turned out to be true.
So
I'm sorry, because you had already seen the Aegon.
yes,
And then he talked to us what you had experienced
Yes.
firsthand. And then
and he's getting up there, and everyone's like, "This guy's full of shit."
Well, his was the craziest testimony from that. And so basically, this guy is saying in 2009, he's deployed with his Marine unit to the Philippines. Then a small part of that Marine unit, like 8 or 9
Yeah.
people, get actually moved off to Indonesia. Is this right?
Yes.
And there's a 7 Richter scale earthquake that had
Yes.
just occurred in the area, so it's a disaster zone.
This is good. We're going to want to go over this whole thing. Keep going.
And he sees this 8-gon, octagon-shaped craft, matte black. He describes it as like blacker than black, and it's hovering above the treetops. And his unit starts to close in because he's like, "What is this thing?"
Yeah.
And there's a humming sound around it, so not a traditional engine.
Yeah.
And as they're sort of moving towards it, what he describes as this elite, possibly Department of Energy paramilitary unit with technical gear out the wazoo comes and apprehends he and his team.
Yeah.
And they have bioscanners and they have all sorts of technical gear. They're threatening this team of Marines and they're saying it's easy to get lost in the jungle, right?
Yeah.
They were actually, 2 of the guys were actually talking about either, hey, should we smoke these guys right now? You know, that's what they kept saying. It was kind of feeding more into the fear at that point because, again, I don't know who these guys are. I know they had American gear, they had American sidearms as well. If these guys have actually taken an oath like we have, and then why they're going against people like us and even willing to kill servicemen who just even stumbled onto this, it just blows my mind, and it's very sick.
And then Herrera chimed in and he said, right, and that he came forward and explained what I saw in detail, clearly hoaxed. They're obviously speaking tongue in cheek. And then another guy jumped in and asked Michael, I know you might not be able to say, but there are rumors the medbed stuff might be coming out to public soonish. Any ideas if they plan on making it public with the first waves of disclosure of some of this hidden tech? I don't know what medbeds are, but Herrera said medbeds are definitely coming out. So stay on the lookout for that. Frequency-based technology, aka scalar, exciting stuff. And they asked him any timeline, and he said, I'm not sure. I know it wouldn't sit well with big pharma, FDA, etc. So far, it's just word of mouth. And then this other person said, it definitely wouldn't. They would do anything they can to prevent it from coming out. Well, this person said, I believe you, man. I believe you're a good guy. Thank you for everything. Do you know anything about the group who's trying to bring those technologies out? Barber? Not Barber or his team, someone else who isn't out about it yet. When he does, he will explain it in detail. The problem is they can unalive people in the same way as opposed to curing people. So it's a double-edged sword. So, wow. This myth of medbeds has been around since the science fiction days, but now it's being talked about and like Reddit forums and 4chan, stuff like that. And it's supposed to be some kind of technology that heals any injury. I don't know how. Don't ask me. I have no idea. But it is interesting that he mentioned frequency-based technology, aka scalar. That's interesting to me because I've been hearing a lot about this so-called Havana syndrome. And now it's been acknowledged by media companies and by the government. And there's supposed to be some type of weapons. So you can only imagine if they have something that destroys with the same type of technology, you can use it to something positive. The same thing happened with nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is one of the cleanest energies in the world. The problem is that the military industrial complex wanted to create something to destroy with nuclear energy. And that's how the nuclear weapons were created. But nuclear energy is really beneficial when you use it properly. And that is really at the core of this entire conversation. Whatever technology comes out, if it does, it is going to have the potential to be a double-edged sword. If it falls in the wrong hands, a lot of really horrible things can happen. We have examples in the past that I've already mentioned. So we have to be mindful of that and mindful of how the information comes out and whether there's like some sort of a safe mechanism to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. And that's why I think that this conversation needs to be out in the open, because the power of virality and social media automatically protects people, because the more people are aware of this and that it represents a potential issue if it falls in the wrong hands, the more opportunities we will have to stop those wrong hands from getting any gain in this. Keeping it secret historically doesn't really work. And secrets are one of the main reasons a lot of the world's catastrophes have happened. And secrets within like agencies that are supposed to be working together, not even between countries. So we have to learn how to communicate better and more openly. I think that's at the core of the issue. And I don't know if you want to believe or not whatever Michael Herrera is saying, but this stuff he just mentioned is something that everybody in science now is talking about. And even people with big tech corporations. There's a bunch of videos that I've done over the last couple of weeks about this. It's not a secret anymore. So a lot of stuff is going to come out, and it has been coming out. Be on the lookout for everything. So let me know what you think about what Herrera is saying here. What do you think about his overall development of the case that he's part of? What do you think about Joey is not my name's position in all of this? And what do you think about that interview that one of his team members offered a little while ago, a few months ago? He has some interesting points and that I need to be cleared up as well, because that doesn't help the whole story. And if what this guy is saying is true, then we need to look at it and analyze it. But yeah, there are a lot of discrepancies that still take place. And the whole aspect of bringing in people for the psionic program, that's a whole another story that we're going to have to tackle eventually as well. And I suspect it's connected to everything else. So let's see how that one goes as well. Okay, so that's it for me today. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to please like, share, comment, subscribe. hit the bell icon so you can get notified when a new video drops. If you want to support the channel in any other way, I'm going to leave a few links in the description so you can take your pick. Thank you for the support. We also have a members channel, and we are on the KGRA website. Thank you for your support. It means the world to us. And right now, I'm still enjoying my time off in Mexico City, but I will see you guys in the next video. And remember, hi from Tepoztlan, Morelos, and always stay curious. Bye.